hooked on sugar, hooked on alcohol, whatever. They can't feel emotion. It's numbed out of them. They're broken people. I mean broken in many different ways. Not only is the brain not working right, they're broken like a slave, because only a slave won't get angry at injustice. Then image 6 more readily explains this. Eric Garner, whose crime was selling loose cigarettes, was killed by police. His last words were, "I can't breathe." Activists have been using the phrase "I can't breathe" as a reminder of the murder. And now there's an image here on image 6 that's of a cop basically in front of a t-shirt that says "Breathe easy, don't break the law." Police officer Jason Barthel of South Bend Uniform Company thought it would be funny to mock this man's dying words by selling t-shirts to fellow cops which say, "Breathe easy, don't break the law." Apparently the implication is no matter how ridiculous the law, you can expect to be killed if you don't follow it, and that's your fault. Cops are buying the shirts by the dozen. It should say Nazis and Nazi lovers are buying the shirt by the dozen. Because that's what the people of this country have become. Nazi lovers. Same thing, the immoral scum of the country of Germany that allowed a complete, utter lunatic psychopath to take over their whole nation and his whole party, his whole regime of dark occultists. Of course, he wasn't the head of it. The puppet, Hitler. But the Black Sun Order was certainly the head of it. And the occultists who ran that. All the occult orders that led up to the creation of the Third Reich and the subsequent Fourth Reich here in America. Now, but people don't know about the occult origins of Nazism. I should do, we did a documentary series as part of TFP Documentary Night here in Philly on that. Maybe I should do a whole series on that. A series of podcasts on that. Because people don't understand these things are one and the same. Totalitarian regimes are all underlay by religious institutions. Dark occultic religion is what ultimately underlays all the drive toward totalitarianism. People don't want to understand that Satanism and dark occultism ushered in the so-called New Age movement to make people docile. That's what the whole plan is, to make you docile, to make sure there's no real men in society, to make sure there's no real women in society. I'm going to be getting into very controversial material in future shows talking about the directed mind control tactics that are employed against women in this society and how they've largely fallen for them. Specifically, the types of targeted mind control techniques that are directed at women. Because if you can control that dynamic, you control who breeds. It's a form of eugenics. People are too stupid to understand that has been controlled by the social engineers and the think tanks and the dark occultists of this world. The whole modern feminism, so-called feminism movement, the modern variant of it, not classical feminism, simple equality under natural law for women. I'm talking about the modern feministic movement. All came out of dark occultism. And people can't grasp it. They can't understand it. Again, it's a chess move. They're too psychologically non-sophisticated, unsophisticated mindset. They can't even understand the move that's just been played against them. They don't have enough long view of history. They don't have enough understanding of the occult world. They don't have enough understanding of human psychology. The last image that I want to talk about for tonight is these other shirts that have been made by cops and Nazi supporters, Nazi lovers that love the Nazi regime that has taken this country. It says, it's image number 7. It says, hate cops, ? The next time you need help, call a crackhead. I wrote a little response to this meme or this image on social networking, and I said, how about if all the Nazi lovers out there stop perpetuating the absolute BS lie that someone's personal responsibility to defend themselves should ever be abdicated and placed in the hands of any other person or group? Because that's the implication. First of all, the entire creation of a police force is a completely flawed fundamental axiom. It's a flawed idea from the inception. That's people saying, I wish to put my right, duty, and responsibility to defend myself into the hands of any other person or group. Just think about how stupid that is. Really? That's what you want. You don't want the right, duty, and responsibility to defend your own person. You want somebody else to do that for you? Well, I want no one else to do that for me, ever. I'm not asking for it. I don't want that service. I've never asked for it. I don't want the help of a cop in any situation. Talking about order followers, the continued justifications that people want to offer for their behavior, and how people are lashing back against people that are tired of all of the crap that is going on with order followers in the modern world and starting to push back. And these people are out there defending the Nazis, saying, hey, cops, call a crackhead the next time you need help, on a shirt in image number 7. And I was reading my response to this, so just basically saying, I don't want the help of a cop in any situation, and I've said many times, if I'm dying, I would rather die than accept the cop's help. Yeah, is that an extreme attitude? Yeah, I don't want cops to exist, period. I think it's a completely flawed axiom that anybody ever, anywhere on the earth, started a police force. Because what a police force is a barrier against the understanding of natural law. And I'll say that again. All police forces everywhere on the earth at any time in history are barriers against the understanding of natural law. Because by attempting to abdicate the responsibility and duty to defend yourself and the people around you in your community from totally immoral behavior, and you're saying, I'm going to place this into somebody else's hands. What goes on then is the immoral behavior builds up in that society, and we expect these other people to sanitize it and remove it and take it away from us. And we want to live just having these people segregated from society in prisons, and then we go on still not teaching morality to our children. And they think that they're the solution. They think that more cops are the solution. And they think they're doing something good, when in effect what you're doing is preventing the learning of natural law. Which is why I've always been an advocate of don't have any prisons. Don't have any police forces. We need to find out just how bad humanity is. Let's find out what we have become. And then stare it in the face and do something about it. Without fear, and embrace the chaos that will happen as a result. See, that's the ultimate psychological factor that lies underneath. People are afraid of chaos because you're going to find out just how much you shirk your responsibility. And then you're going to have to look at the room and realize it is completely a mess beyond our wildest imaginings. And it's nobody else's responsibility to clean it up than us. This house is a wreck. It's in ruins. And we still want to try to pass off the responsibility to somebody else by saying, it's your responsibility to protect me. It's your responsibility to, defend me when I need self-defensive force. It's nobody's responsibility but themselves, especially in an age where firearms exist. Because then neither sex can say, I don't have the ability to defend myself. And that's what they've successfully done throughout the rest of the world. largely through the rest of the world, not entirely. They haven't been able to get it done here, to take firearms out of the so-called slaves' hands, and you'll never get it done here. Mark my words. That's one thing I know, like I know the sun's going to rise on the eastern horizon tomorrow. No government's taking the guns of American citizens. Bet on it, boys and girls. Bet on it. It's the only reason I feel there's any hope at all. Because of the amount of firearms that exist in this nation and will never be removed from the American public's hands is the only reason I feel any hope. Not because we're a moral people, not because we're an educated people, because we're not. But there's still at least enough red-bloodedness in this country to understand when hot tyranny is going to be approaching, you're going to need that weapon. And they're not going to successfully take those weapons out of our hands. It's not going to happen. I don't care how many false flags they pull. You ain't getting that done without such a cost of blood that even if you did somehow succeed, it will be as if you failed. So I said, is the stance of let me die rather than call a cop for help, is that extreme enough for you? Because I'm an extremist. I wear the badge of extremist proudly with honor. I am an extremist. The truth is extreme. And I said, by the way, I wouldn't call on the help of a crackhead, although a crackhead would probably be a better choice than a cop. I'd personally call on the help of a Springfield XD or a Mossberg 500, personally. I think those are much better choices for self-defense than a cop or a crackhead. I'd place the crackhead as a distant second, though. So all the Nazi lovers, take something like that and shove it up your rear end. Free people aren't interested in your nonsense, your garbage, your justifications for your Nazi loving. And then people want to get angry because I call a cult member, and I call a Nazi. Well, get as angry and offended at me as you want to get. Like I said, I don't care about your emotional response to what I say. That's your karmic consequence for ignoring truth. You want to think with your emotions like an idiot? Go think with your emotions like an idiot. I'm here to tell the people who have the capacity to understand, who have the mind of an adult, who don't need it sugar-coated or watered down. And then if they want to go and teach it like baby spoon, baby feeding, baby food feeding, spoon-fed to other little infantile people, well, then they could do it that way. It's not my style, and it's never going to be. Get over it. Get over it. Instead of critiquing my style, go teach yourself. How about that? Now, you don't want to do that because you don't want to put your name on anything because you're too cowardly. Too damn cowardly. God forbid you go start a site or a radio show or a podcast or whatever. No, we can't have that. We got to critique Mark, who's actually doing something. Go critique the other truth tellers out there, whoever they may be. And just incidentally, folks, I was